kill something.
People wanna know who we are, so we tell them we are the Mighty Razorbacks.
Okay. Let's take a short break. A little reminder, Buffy. I know you're like MVP when it comes to offing the butt-ugly supernatural beasties, but cheerleading is an entirely different discipline. Please, try to pay attention.
Sorry, just feeling a little oogie. I haven't had much luck with the quality Z's lately. Bad dreams. And, lest you forget, I'm doing this as a favor to you. I'm over the pursuit of fame and glory through cheerleading.
It's a crushing blow to the world of synchronized shouting. Okay, girls, let's take that last one again, but this time
Cordy, get everyone else into the supply closet and keep them quiet until I come for you. I'll go track down the janitor and see if Creepy Pete can get the lights turned back on.
Okay, this is part 2 of me playing Buffy the Vampire Slayer the game. My first point I'd like to bring up is, why is Buffy so scared that there were vampires in her high school? I mean, it's not like she's ever had that before. Yeah, but you know, last year because this game is meant to take place in round about season 3. So, as she's already had Spike, why is she so scared? And what are the chances there is a stake in the showers? What are the chances of that? I reckon Buffy's been at this school for too long. So yeah, here we are in Sunnydale High, and she's just lost one of her teachers.
You want a piece of me? I'll give you the whole damn pie. Oh, go kiss daylight.
Well, Buffy stick to one person there, and she gets bitten. That's not very impressive for a vampire slayer. He really could have killed the vampire then, but you know, he was a stupid vampire. Bit of magic you can see there. Every time she goes to open the door, whatever she's holding, like a mop, baseball bat, it vanishes. And the really cool thing about the mop is it sounds like a sword when you're attacking anything with it. It's just pretty cool considering it's made out of wood. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. It sounds like a sword.
Spill your guts, honey.
For the vampire who has everything.
You can't win, Slayer.
What I suggest for like people who are going to play the game on like a darker setting of the contrast. You know, just making sure your picture's dark, because it will add to the like charisma or the mise en scène of the actual game. So that's what I recommend if you're going to play this game.
Get ready to spill your
It just makes it more interesting, to be honest, because if you got it like pretty bright, you'll be able to see what's gonna jump out at you. So it really takes away some of the fun of the game.
Oh, sweetheart. This is my town.
They cut the power. Never a good thing. Does it make me a pessimist to say that's a bad omen? Cutting the power, I'm thinking they're smarter than the average bear. Or average vampire bear. And here comes another bad thought on a collision course with my terror. There are magnetic locks on all the main doors. Here, take this. You won't be able to open them until the power comes back on.
Then we have to get the power back on. Just stay here. Keep your head down.
Absolutely. Classroom. Always felt right at home in a classroom. Yep. Gonna sit right here with the chalk.
Well, since I've been thinking about it, I'm going to definitely say this is definitely around about season 3 when I think season 2. Because of what's later to come, it would definitely say this is somewhere probably early on season 3. But the only surprise to that is for some reason Faith is not in the game. Bit surprising when you think of it and where it fit in the timeline of the series.
Paid any attention to girls like you.
But on a positive, Faith's in the next game, so you don't miss out on being able to play as other Slayers. So oh, that vampire's going down, killing innocents. I like the fact he doesn't check if the other person is going to become a vampire. I mean, he might have just turned him into a vampire and threw him through the door anyway.
For the vampire who has everything. Just between us girls, you're looking a little worn around the eyes. Let that be a lesson to you, or, you know, those... That's it. The only way any of these leeches is getting out of here is in a dustpan.
This is the loading bit, that channeling, well sometimes it says summoning as well during this game.
Who do we have here? New blood or more likely the recycle signs?
Get ready to spill your guts.
You want a piece of me? I'll give you a little bit of time. Could come
One
in
thing that you will have noticed that Sarah Michelle Gellar is not the voice of the character in this game, which is really sad for Buffy fans that she did not basically do the voice for the game when other people did their voices. So that's a shame, but I suppose you can't get everything you want. Now, if you like watching me, this is like hints for like walkthrough. This is not really a good walkthrough, but I hope I give you like show you ways to do bits of missions if you struggling on them. But I can't see why you'd be struggling on this current mission. But you never know. Some people might, if they're not basically good game. But you don't really need to be a good game, but if they're not a game at all, they might be struggling. So, you know, I hope I help people out during these, basically me going through the game. So one tip I will give if you never play this game, break as many like benches or like, well not benches, seats and stuff, to make sure you have enough stakes, as you can never get enough stakes in this game, as the stakes do break on a quite a regular basis, especially at key times when you're just about to stake one and you have to wait like a few more seconds to basically stake that vampire.
Nothing like a brisk walk and a spot of demon slaughter to make a girl's night. I have better things to do than kick your ass
Now I remember those dog like demons to be a lot harder when I was playing this as a kid. So if you're struggling a bit, basically, well, I don't really have a tip for how to deal. Just hit the shit out of them, really. A mop could come in handy if you were holding onto a mop or a baseball bat. That would come in handy. But later on in the game, they will obviously become easier to kill when you get upgraded weapons. Some of the weapons you get on this game are quite awesome, to say the least.
You want a piece of me?
Well, that was a hell of a kill. Come on, who's with me on that kill? That was awesome.
No, it's not an option. Chick fight.
Right now, you're every pretty girl who ever ignored you. And it's payback time.
I feel like a new Slayer. Huh. Nothing to this electrician gig. Flick the big switch and the power comes back on. Time for me to join the union. Won't budge. Ain't gonna happen.
Another tip, which wasn't so much on this mission, but I was still looking around anyway. In the later missions, remember to keep looking around for like hidden rooms, because they usually hold like these crystals which give you like more health later on in the game, which will of course come in handy. So you know, keep looking around on the game for stuff. On the next mission I find quite a few crystals, so that was pretty good for me on the game. For some reason there's a vampire in this like abandoned corridor, and it's like, how did she get there? How did that vampire get there? I mean, obviously they didn't really think that bit through,
Nothing like a brisk walk in a
but
sweaty
how did that
jeans.
vampire get there? Come on. Sort it out. And also, why are there so many vampires in the basement? How many did they need to shut the electricity off in this high school? How many did they need down there? And why are there so many vampires in this gang trying to raid the high school? I mean, in this series you got what 10 maybe, but you didn't get like 30 or 50, 30 to 50 I'd say they were on this mission. So that's a bit of a weird thing to say. Large group, but how many vampires are there in Sunnydale? I mean, come on, surely she's killing a large percentage of them all in this one bit of this game.
Guess you wish you'd stayed home tonight.
Awkward moment here where I forget where the library is. Well, I don't forget, but you think the game should tell you where the library is, because it's not like Buffy's going to forget where the library is in in her own school. I mean, how can she not find the library for which she goes in every day to train, pretty much? So, the game should really give you pointers to where the library is. I'm also quite curious to what's happened to the other cheerleaders, as Cordelia was in that room with Willow there. I mean, where did those other cheerleaders... See, that was just the most stupidest thing a vampire could have done. But yeah, back to the cheerleaders. Where the hell did the rest of the cheerleaders go? Where did the two other cheerleaders get off to? I mean, maybe they're dead, that's why they're not in that room with Cordelia and Willow, but it doesn't really give you an indication of what happened to him.
Get ready to spill your guts, honey.
You think vampires would come up with a better way of trying to kill the Slayer? Because that seems a pretty stupid way to try and kill someone if you're a vampire. Like, basically a flammable object which is more likely to, you know, dust a vampire than that. Well, the human will get burnt, don't get me wrong. Except on this game where you'll basically set Buffy on fire and obviously she'll look exactly the same like nothing's ever happened to her. But that's mainly for the game of this time period more than anything else. But you get my point about why would a vampire do that? I mean, come on, sort it out. So yeah, I found the library finally.
If anyone has a free hand, I'm about to be eaten.
Hey, what do you think this is? A library?
Just the stray I was looking for. Come on to play.
You don't think I'm gonna let you read without a fight? Wow, look, a vampire with loads of macho swagger, like we had a shortage. Oh, go kiss daylight.
Well, if I'd have slain him then, that would have made this game very short. So it's a good job they didn't allow me to slay him, really. Or the fact that Buffy missed.
Bruised, but otherwise all right. I believe I'm building up a resistance to cranial trauma.
That must be a really good book.
Actually, no. It's a rather obscure text on spirit channeling. The author was long-winded and pedantic.
Want me to try to track him? Get the book back?
And that won't be necessary. The text is seriously out of date. Its contents would be of little worth to anyone but an amateur medium.
Well, now we're going to meet the Scooby Gang for the first time. Which, they have goodies to kill the vamps with. What a gang.
Hey Buff, I've been working on this bad boy for quite a while, and this looks like the right time to break it in.
Xander, for me? You shouldn't have.
Keep an eye out for crystals when you're out on Slayer duty. Pretty, but they also come in handy. Strong with a mojo. Any good witch or bad demon knows that certain crystals have healing or energy-enhancing powers. If you find anything, bring it back to me. I've been experimenting with some spells using crystals. If I have the right ones, I might be able to boost your strength and Slayer power. Kinda like an energy bar, but you don't need it. Tummy ache.
And later we could make some fun and life-affirming jewelry out of them. Or not.
All this fuss over a stupid book? Why don't you people get your priorities straight? Hello? Cheerleading competition? This...
Buffy, there are some advantages.
So yeah, that was the Scooby Gang giving me some, well, nice crossbow to really help kill these vamps. So yeah, nice of them, really. The Scooby Gang will give you better upgrades later. What else to mention? Oh yeah, if you want to watch me complete this game, which I will do in time, I'll be uploading videos probably on a weekly basis, so they'll come out on a weekly schedule. So please subscribe so you see all of them, as I'll be going through more stuff on Buffy. So yeah, remember to subscribe.